It's funny too because I asked Irene, I said, so if somebody's on a lower level, can they go up and hang out with people in the higher levels? And she said no. And I go, that's weird. Why would they not be able to do that? You think they'd want to learn? And Irene says they will, because the ones in the higher levels can come and help the ones in the lower levels.
The seven levels of heaven. Let's hope we don't get into an argument with this. Uh, so
This
let's
might stir up some controversy. Uh,
let's say a person dies. They go up to heaven. They have their orientation. They have their life review. They see their loved ones and their dogs and everything. What happens then? Where do they eventually reside? Heaven's not one gigantic place, right? There are different levels to it. Where
yes.
where would I end up being? What level would I end up being on? So
Well,
you want to start with what the levels are?
yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Um, and you say heaven. A lot of people might say the other side. Um,
Afterlife, yeah, whatever a person wants to call it.
right. And some people think, oh, I'm going to go to heaven. Is he going to go to hell? From my understanding, there is no hell. It's just the other side. And that is you go to where you vibrate with. So that from my understanding, I've talked with Irene and my guides, and they talk about the 7 levels. So I'll start with the highest level. Do you want me to start with the
Yeah,
highest level and work
sure,
down?
sure.
Okay, so from my understanding, um, the highest level, which would be level 1, that is where the ascended masters are at. Jesus, Buddha, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, the angels. That's the highest vibration. That's where they realize we're all one, and they just resonate at the highest level.
Okay.
Um, the second one, and again, with all of these, there's wiggle room. It's not cut and dry. An example, I say the second level, which Irene is talking about, would be people who serve God, like the monks, priests, nuns. But then again, it goes by their intention. If these people maybe do really bad things too, then their vibration is lower. Um, it's just kind of on different levels. The third level, from my understanding, would be people who are really kind and considerate. They wish well on others. They're helpers. They love. They spread kindness. So that's like the third level. The fourth level, from my understanding, what I get from Irene, would be the the drug addicts, people who are really out of control, the alcoholics, the people who really abuse their body. It could even be where people get really heavy and they can't uh, function. I'm not talking about somebody who has a glass of wine every night. She's talking about the people who will do anything to get these drugs to. Mm, they're not. How do we say this, Irene? They're not They're not treating their temple, which is their body, in a good way. The fifth level, from my understanding from Irene, would be the haters, the one who spread hate. They wish bad on others all the time. The liars, they use words to destroy people. And of course, again, um, everybody might say a lie here and there or do things, gossip, things of that nature. But we're just talking about they really resonate at that level most of the time. On the sixth level, what I understand would be more like the child molesters, the murderers, the people who really abuse other people physically and mentally. and who have abuse animals. And then the seventh level would be from my understanding, is the people who don't even believe in an afterlife at all. And
Mm.
so those are kind of the seven levels that I get. And people are like, "Oh no, I'm in the fourth level or the whatever, the fifth." From my understanding, when you get to the other side, you go with people who are like you. So you're not going to be the outcast, and people, they're like, "Oh, she's a bad person." Everybody's kind of the same because you vibrate the same. And once you get on the other side, from my understanding, you can still evolve. You can still do the training. You don't have to wait to come back to this lifetime and start where you left off and then try to keep going up the ladder. You can
Okay.
still evolve on the other side because people in the, I guess we want to say, the higher grades can come in and help and counsel, and then you can still evolve on the other side.
Okay. So how how we are in this life determines at what level of heaven or the afterlife we ultimately reside at.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I gather it.
Okay.
And
All right. Well, let me give you an example. This is where we disagree. That first level. Um, let's say I live a good life. You know, open heart. Uh, give to charity, love my family, do everything for these people, live a good, solid life. I just don't happen to believe in an afterlife. So
right.
am I just like relegated to the first level? You know, I
No,
have a
because
good heart, you know,
right.
but I just
That's
don't
what we
believe.
right. So it goes by how you resonate. If you tell me that, I'm thinking that you're going to be higher up the totem pole because you do have a good life.
Yeah.
Just like what we said, if up on the second level, people, the priest and the monks, okay, so you're not automatically going to go there if you molest people or
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
murder
that's where
people.
you
So
have evil in your heart when you're doing things like
right,
that. But if I just happen to not have believe in the afterlife, doesn't mean in my heart I'm evil.
no,
You know, so
no,
that's where I
yeah, these are not set in stone.
right.
The way I gather it, you go with like souls.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So again, you're not going to go there and think, "Oh no, I've done bad." And we all we all go through that. It's like this is a school. We want to experience everything while we're here. The
yeah.
good, the bad, and the ugly.
So when we get there, are we still individual? I mean, do we maintain our individuality, uh, or are we just now a part of the entire collective of sorts?
We maintain a portion of it. People think that when somebody crosses over, they instantly become enlightened, and that's not the way that I gather it. Um, we do still maintain our individual parts of it,
Okay.
but we understand that we are part of a collective as well.
Okay.
And again, it's like a school, just like this is a school on this earth plane, it's a school on the other side too. And we get helpers and we learn, and then we vibrate more. We get a deeper understanding of the concept of kind of what's going on.
Yeah. I don't know if you mentioned you answered this already, but let's say I'm up there in the fourth or fifth level, you know, and I got some buddies down here on level 3. Can I come down and like pop in and say hi? Can I
Yeah,
visit? Yeah, okay, okay,
it's funny too because I asked Irene. I said, "So if somebody's on a lower level, can they go up and hang out with people in the higher levels?" And she said, "No." And I go,
really?
"That's weird. Why would they not be able to do that? You think they'd want to learn?" And Irene says they will because the ones in the higher levels can come and help the ones in the lower levels.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's
I
interesting.
I don't know the rhyme and reason. This is just what I get from my spirit team.
So, are there specific? I mean, how do we ultimately evolve up into the higher levels? Is there a lesson or a specific person or purpose for each level?
Well, I think the name of the game would be just to do the best you can
Yeah.
and try to be kind. You know when you're not kind, and people that are hateful and spread hate. I mean that lowers your energy, your vibration. And so I think that's the name of the game. Come here, just try to do the best you can do. Nobody's going to be perfect. And that's why we're here.